Namaste. Welcome to Sipping on Stories podcast. I'm your host Sehereen, and this is where we welcome women healers and spiritual leaders from all around the world to come and share their journeys and their experiences. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing lots of love to our podcast episodes. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe to this channel so we can continue spreading some love. Thank you. Namaste, Shailvi. Welcome to Sipping on Stories podcast. I am very, very happy to have you here today.
Namaste, Sehereen. I'm equally happy to be here on your space, and would love to answer all of that you seek.
Awesome, great. With that, I will first do a little cheers with the choice of beverage you've got today, and tell us, first of all, where you're joining us from today.
Sure. So, as you know, I'm Shailvi, and I'm joining from Dubai, but basically I'm an Indian. I'm a Gujju. So, but I'm here in Dubai from past 5 years now, and yeah, so
Recently,
living.
my family and I, we've been enjoying a lot of teplas lately. We've been loving them,
Wow.
actually.
That's something that's my favorite actually. That's a go-to meal every time. So it's a comfort meal.
It is. And for those who don't know what it is, I mean, you can tell it better, but you have your fenugreek leaves in the roti. Is that right? You put it in the atta and the wheat flour, and you
Yeah.
make a dough and make rotis out of it, like bread. So,
Yes.
and they taste so good. Lovely.
It's so amazing, and like we Gujus, we know how to make our theplas, no? So we love varieties. So, and especially when it's methi fresh, like winter season is coming, so prefer using various flours and put jaggery and curd and everything. So then we have our versions of theplas. So yeah.
Interesting. Definitely asking you for some more recipes. All I was aware is
Sure.
only one type of thepla, and I was like, oh, it's just fenugreek leaves, methi leaves,
Uh,
basically.
yeah.
Amazing. I hear that you just said you're approaching winter. We're kind of opposite. We're approaching summer. So, in
Oh,
Australia, so we're gonna have a beachy Christmas.
nice.
With
We
so,
have been yearning for winters now. It was crazy here, extremely hot, very dry.
yeah,
So it's good now. It's getting more pleasant, and especially the evenings now. Evenings are quite pleasant.
amazing.
So,
Yeah. Shelby, when we got to talking initially, what really also got my attention was that you told me that you were a Hanuman devotee, and you should really tell us how that actually began, because I would love for you to start with that.
sure,
And
sure.
yeah.
So I'll just take you a year back, wherein I had the most difficult time of my life. And slowly and gradually, it was Hanumanji who brought me back to where I was meant to be. And I used to chant Hanuman Chalisa, and in my house also, the mantras would keep running every time. And I would just not know that where am I getting those energies, where am I getting those powers to deal with whatever I'm dealing through.
Hmm.
And then there was a point of time where I would chant 100 Hanuman Chalisa. I would take sankalps actually, and I would, keep chanting 20, 30. So I would do that. And then there was one fine day, I guess it was October last year, wherein I got this beautiful dream. And it was a real dream because there was Hanumanji, and it was a very ancient temple. And I was just walking past that temple, and I was just telling in my mind that, I'm chanting so much, but I just don't know whether you're present or not. I want to see you. And
Hmm.
there, there was a very Puranic, very ancient idol of Hanumanji in you know in a saffron color, like we say. I forgot. So kesari is the
Yes.
color that. Ha,
Yeah.
ha. So it was that, and he was smiling, and his eyes were real. It was as if Hanumanji is smiling and telling that I'm there.
Mm.
And then I started getting few dreams of him, but then I knew that there's a connection, and it's a very real connection. And through that, I started like he was a force, he was guiding me, and then Neem Karoli Baba came into my life, and I started getting his dreams, like, and it was so real dreams that whenever I would get such dream, I would get like an electric shocks in my spine. So
Mm.
I would know that, something is happening really. And it was just very beautiful.
Mm.
And it was like I was being guided into what I was meant to be. Later, then when I got my readings done and, few background checks done, I got to know that, yes, this is the path.
Yes.
So he was the force who guided me into Akashic. And now that I've started my journey, I've learned few more other modalities, but it all resonates. It feels that, I've been doing that since many of my past lives, and I'm just meant to do that only. And it gives you that pleasure and that satisfaction that you're doing something to the people and to the earth.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yeah. Amazing. So, Jai Bajrang Bali. Right.
yes, very, very.
I would love for you to maybe describe in a few words who is Lord Hanuman, because we have a
Sure.
lot of listeners and viewers who might not be aware, and even who mean Karoli Baba as well. And
Sure.
interestingly, my family and I, we were just watching one of Krishna Das's podcasts where he talks about his
Yes,
his journey,
yes.
his life with Neem Karoli Baba. How interesting! We were just watching that last night. But
Yeah.
tell us in a few words for just for our listeners' benefits. Mm.
Sure. So Hanumanji, as we all know, he's Ram's. I call him Ram's Das. For him, he is Ram's everything. So he is.
Lord.
If we see in our Purans in Ramayana, uh, he is one of that uh, character or one of that. I call him everything. He's the goddess. He's a god. Uh, but he is someone who is looking after each one of us from all the yugas, and he is here. He is still here. He has not left the earth, and he's just there to name the spread the name of Rama.
Mm.
So, and I'm getting goosebumps while I'm telling you this, but whenever you seek his name out, you will feel his presence. So the name Hanuman and the name Rama has so much of power that it will pull you out of anything that you want to. It's just that you have to seek.
Mm.
So, and yes, so Neem Karoli Baba, as people say, he is the avatar of Hanuman. And so there are, I don't know more that what all siddhis he did, but whenever I see him or whatever I have read about him, it gives me more connection to Hanuman.
Mm.
So people have had miraculous incidences with him wherein they have seen the image of Hanuman in him. And so you know about Kechi Dham, so that is where he established that temple. But then there was a very Puranic cave
Mm.
uh,
Just behind the
where
temple.
yeah, behind the temple, and that's where he set up the actual Hanuman temple. And even when you go to that place has some magic wherein it just, I don't know what words to use, but it just embraces you in that divinity.
Yes.
So for me, Hanuman and Baba Neem Karoli are my
Mm.
Karta Dharta. Like everything, I know that they are there
Mm.
and they are the power behind everything that I do.
Yeah, so
So
beautiful,
yeah.
very beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I think Lord Hanuman, for most of you would say he's a monkey god. He
Yeah.
has a monkey head and a human body. And so with Neem Karoli Baba, he is, as you said, he's a reincarnation. A lot of people believe that he's a reincarnation of Lord Hanuman. And yes, and I think I'm just kind of repeating this also because for our listeners' benefit, so they know what that means. And because you mentioned Kenchi Dham, which is closer. It's a little town, I would say, very close to Nainital in India,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
it's a beautiful place. I've been there,
It's
and
magical.
it is, it is.
Yeah.
You cannot describe
Yeah.
it with words. So
Yes. So
I
I
agree.
would not even say that Baba is the reincarnation of Hanuman, because Hanuman is there and he
Mm.
had been told to be here. So he is there. I don't know where he is living, but then the presence is so strong
Yeah,
that he is there. So Baba,
yeah.
yeah,
I feel you. And it's said that when you actually call upon Lord Hanuman, he is the fastest deity to respond because he's always so closer to the earth's plane. So
yes,
he always
yes,
listens and he's always there when you call him with devotion.
absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I have felt that. I can tell you that now. I do feel his presence whenever there's anything, or even when you go to the temple and you just chant Hanuman Chalisa, there would be simple, cool breeze that would come across your face, and you'll know that, he's the Vayu Devta. So he's
Yeah,
there, he's blessing you.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Thank you so much, Shelby, for sharing that. And I'm so glad that we actually started a podcast talking about Lord Hanuman and Lord Rama
yes.
and Neem Karoli Baba. I think it's really given that push that we needed for this episode. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Um, so I know that you got into Akashic readings now,
Hmm.
but before you actually started your journey into Akashic readings, I want to know, all about what it is and how it works and so on. But I was also very intrigued when you told me that you actually were working in public health before this,
Yes.
as a nutritionist. Is that right? And
Yeah.
how that flip happened, right?
Hmm.
So walk us through that a little bit. So how do you feel at the moment? Like, do you feel like going back? Do you feel connected to that world? What is it like for you?
So, I'll tell you, I was very, very passionate about the work that I would do. Like, especially public health nutrition was something that I would just look up to, that I have to grow, 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 grow. And I had worked with a lot of NGOs, I had worked with government, I had worked with, such grassroots projects, and that was what my connection was. But I'll tell you, last 2 years has bring upon so much of transformation in my life, and it was like rerouting me to this. And while I was working in my nutrition stream, I was working, but then there was that attachment was missing, and I started feeling that something is lacking in my life. Though I never thought that I would completely leave my field, although I have not, but I didn't feel the connect.
Hmm.
And I started getting triggers from a lot of various factors that sort of pushed me that, no, this is not it. There's something more. And I would complain. I would really complain to Baba, saying that I'm just not liking it. This is not where I want to be. And it was changing me as a person also. Like,
Hmm.
the triggers were so much coming from X and Y things. So I was changing as a personality, and I was suffering inside. And that's where I would complain a lot. And simply, um, this Akashic came into the space, and I just randomly took it up. I
Hmm.
didn't know. I had done my first Akashic reading. In that also, it came that, why am I taking up any healings? Like, I am here for the spiritual path. And I took it very lightly because I was like, yeah, it's okay. I don't know how to get into all of that. And there was no heart to heart connection to that thing.
Hmm.
But then, actually, just in 3 months of taking the reading, I just got into it, and it was like someone, just forced me into
Push.
it, that now is the time that, you have to start. Like,
Yeah.
Because then when I got my other Akashic readings done, I knew that, I've been doing it from my past lives and I know this thing. So it's just like retouching upon the lost
Hmm.
uh, touch and getting back into it. And
Yeah.
yeah, and now that I'm doing it, um, I don't regret that I'm not into the nutrition space 100%, but whatever I'm doing right now, I feel that, this is what it was. And
Hmm.
whatever happened for the reason.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? The way kind of life works and universe works, and
yeah.
you never know what you could be doing the next moment.
Absolutely. And whenever we fail in our lives, there are triggers. We don't try and understand that, why certain things are happening, and we take failure literally and we just go deep down into it. But if we see that, there could be some redirection that is happening, it can take you to places.
Yeah, sometimes it's not a downfall, but it's an upgrade that you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love
Yes.
that. So as we come back to the Akashic records as such, so as I understand it, it is really like a library of a soul's, um, you know, past, present, and future, right?
Ye-
And
Yes.
now, how can the Akashic records help someone to understand the soul's purpose and the spiritual lessons that are meant to learn this lifetime? So how do you kind of help people with that to understand that?
First of all, I would like to tap on this thing that it's a soul's journey, okay? The soul never dies. So, whenever the soul is going to take another birth, uh, it writes. So, depending upon whatever karmas are left, the soul writes its own life.
Mm.
And Akashic records are your karmic actions all written in real time, whether they are thoughts, they are actions, or anything that you do in all of your lives, those are all recorded. So
Mm.
in Hindu mythology, we say that Chitragupt is the one who writes down your karmas. So
Mm.
Akashic records are your that book. So Akashic records, when you tap the Akashic records, they have all of your information. And it is so amazing that when you tap it, the information starts flowing.
Mm.
So, and you want to know, you just have to ask specific questions. And there are also times wherein you haven't even asked, and the masters will keep showing you that, these are the instances or whatever happened in the
Mm.
past, or what are you meant for, or anything that you ask. So basically, it gives you guidance in such a real time that even when you start following that guidance, you would know that, I was meant to be. So it gives a very accurate spiritual guidance or any guidance that you seek actually. So it's basically like the forces up there are helping your soul to redirect itself. Because when you take birth, you go undergo that temporary amnesia wherein you forget about all of your lives.
Yeah.
So Akashic Records is that tool that would help you understand that um, what all aspects were there that you forgot about your life. Plus it would guide you for sure.
Yeah.
And all the readings that I've done so far, it has been so amazing how the things come across, and you can't even doubt it.
Mm. Can you
So
share some of maybe some juicy chapters from one of the
sure.
Akashic record?
Sure. So I'll just tell you a very it might be small, but I got a very big validation that the records should not be doubted.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this one client who's already into angel therapy and all of that. So again, she was in a lot of suffering. So I was like, you just don't have to worry so much. I
Mm.
specifically told her that Archangel Michael is looking out for you. He's there with you.
Yeah.
And immediately she validated that, yeah, wherever I am in pain or anything, I call upon Archangel Michael. So, it's there. Like the messages that you get from the guides and the Akashic bookkeepers and Lord Metatron, it's all amazing.
Very
So,
interesting.
and there's one thing that whenever you connect to Akasha, you are just a medium. It's
Mm,
them who are guiding the client.
yeah.
So it's very beautiful, and the client also sends those energies. They feel those presence, like they'll feel that, they are in some another world or zone wherein it's all blessings and divinity that is there in that
Mm,
space.
mm, beautiful. And how can Akashic Records support spiritual healing and transformation for one?
So, whenever you are doing any Akashic reading or whenever the client is there, first of all is the healing also happens because the master knows that why the client has come. So
Mm,
the healing is constantly being done while the reading is happening. And then there are a lot of other healings that are there in Akashic also.
mm,
So that helps in healing the person. It could be that, even some angels would step in to heal the person. Very basic things like cord cutting. So we call upon Lord Michael to just come and cut the cords. And the client would feel that,
mm,
something has happened. They'll feel it on the crown.
right.
So there are many such healings also in Akasha. Akasha is vast.
Yeah.
So there are not one or two, but there are many Akashic healings that also happens in this space.
Mm, mm. And with the Akashic records, so they also get, so would your clients also get guidance on understanding or healing their karma? And
Yes.
yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
So karmic healing is something that you cannot do for anyone else because you don't want to interfere with anyone's karma. But then the masters, they do the karmic healing directly. Also it is done, else they would guide that, you have to work upon certain things for that karmic healing to happen. It could be something basic like you just do some donation, or you just do some work for XY person, or even towards your families. So karmic healing also has a lot of branches.
Mm,
um, yes, you can heal your karmas, and it also sort of redirects you when it knows that, where are you going and which path you need to take, so that whatever karmas you're generating more, it could stop.
mm, yeah.
Also, there are certain meditations that connects you to higher cosmic power. It connects you to Lord Metatron and the guides up there who
Mm,
can help you heal your karmas just by connecting to them.
right.
And even there are certain healings that would help you, especially it's for that soul who doesn't want to reincarnate.
Mm,
So even it helps in the ascension process. So
really?
it's quite deep. It's quite deep. You can just find out ways how to,
Yeah,
evolve yourself with
right.
that.
Yeah, this got my attention when you said you can also help a soul not to take birth again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it is like how? I mean, I'm kind of startled because that does not happen until and unless you've
Hmm.
learned all your life lessons
Yes.
and
Yes.
your all the karma that you've accumulated in
Hmm.
a bag full unless
Hmm.
it's empty and you've learned those lessons. So
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
does that work? Tell me.
So there are various categories also of souls, and obviously this is not your one life. It could be that you have been living from past 1 lakh years or many years. So there are young souls, there are old souls.
Yeah.
So this is specifically for those who know that, who are aware actually.
Mm,
So that they don't want to reincarnate, and such souls are specially in the spirituality itself. You get into spirituality so that you get hold of your karmas also. You know that how to react, what to do. So, especially for those souls who knows that, I don't want to reincarnate and I'm done. So those souls, they do seek help of what should I do? What
they guided.
healings should I do?
Mm,
Yeah, the guidance. And again, it is upon the soul's free will also. I will say that, you need to do these things. But then are you really doing it? If no, then you are creating more karmas and the cycle continues.
Right. There's a
Yeah,
whole topic where we can talk about like there is free will or not.
yeah.
Yeah, and then destiny, like because what I believe is that, oh, I wouldn't say believe, but I don't have proof per se, but we're doing things, but it's not us who's really doing things. It's
Hmm.
happening. And when you say you're doing it, you have the ego in play, but there is like you have a script, like you have a
Hmm.
script given, and you're just playing your role and acting
Hmm.
based on the way you're conditioned. But
Absolutely.
you're right.
Hmm.
So what is your take on free will? Do you think there's free will that exists?
Free
Does
will does exist
Hmm.
because if there are some chapters in Akasha, those are meant to be kept blank. So there are
Okay.
certain spaces that you can fill it on your own if you become aware. Like, say, for example, let's compare a life of a criminal, soul. Okay, the
Hmm.
soul has selected the role as a criminal.
Hmm.
But then it's not that because, she wants, again, we should not judge the various roles that soul selects.
Yeah.
But then it also has a free will to take up other good things in the life that the soul is seeing. Say, for example, it can go for counseling, it can do various other things. So that is a free will. But again, it's upon the soul wherein it wants to take up or not. So, yeah, and that's how they can improve their karmas, and that's how they can put a break
Hmm.
to other incarnation.
Yeah, it's
So,
really interesting. It's just got me thinking a bit. So I'm definitely gonna, dig in and read a bit about it.
please do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there are two interesting books that I also tell my clients to read. One is The Journey of Souls, and another is Destiny of Souls. So those two books, it gives you so much of insight into what happens before and after
Yes.
birth and death.
That's by Michael Newton, correct?
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Yes, I have read those books. It's been
Hmm.
a while though, but I find that very interesting, and it's a very
Yeah.
fascinating topic to kind of discuss and go deeper. And as you start
Yes.
thinking about it, I was like, oh my, I think and I just need to give my brain a little bit of break because I feel like our mind cannot perceive what is out there. Our mind is so
Yeah.
limited.
Yeah,
And
we are born with that limited mindset, and it's again not that everyone would understand where you're coming from. So that
yeah,
is one thing that I've stopped in my life. I've stopped explaining all these things to the people I know that, okay, it's fine, they cannot perceive,
yeah,
and it's fine. That is how they are conditioned to.
yeah, 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 totally. That's so true. So true. Cannot agree more. Right, awesome.
Yes.
So you mentioned that when you are with your clients, you have your ancestors coming in, archangels coming in, masters coming in, and to, communicate the message to your client. So how do you kind of get these messages? Do they pop an
Exactly.
image in your mind? So how does that work?
Yeah. It's very interesting. So many a times it comes in just in front of your eyes, like it's a beautiful, colorful image. Uh, Another times those are like a messages that someone's telling you in your ears.
Hmm.
So it at times come into your mind also. So there are various ways for them to
Hmm.
let you know that they are there, and they beautifully guide. So as I told you, it's different for and for me also. At times there are flashes also. At times they just come up, and at times I also feel their presence around me. So there's whispering, there's popping up the answers in the mind, and a lot of things.
When you got your Akashic reading done for the first time, what kind of
Hmm.
shocked you?
So at that time, I got to know that I have lived my life as a monk in some 21 of my past lives. So that was like a huge shock. And then it came that you should do more healings. Why are you not doing it? So that were the highlight of my reading. Also, when you are doing the reading, you'll know about all of your traits. So as a person, I am a foodie. So I
Hmm.
also got to know that masters was saying that yeah, you really love namkeens and all. You should better stop it. It's like what? How do they know about it? So it comes in a very specific answers. Like even if you seek, you don't seek. If they want to, tell you something, they'll tell you. So it's that
That's
beautiful.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you do get these messages, right? So do they
Hmm.
kind of make sure that they give you some information that only you would know? So that would that would kind of tell you or validate that yes, this is the
Hmm.
correct message that I'm receiving.
Yes. Yes. So any answers, any messages I get, I also get the validation. Immediately I got the validation. And these instances have been happening now. So earlier when I started, you automatically go into that self-doubt. Whether, are you
Mm.
speaking, or is it your mind playing with you,
Yeah.
or is it the intuition? But then you'll get the validations and you'll know that here there is no you, it's only them. And you
Yeah.
are just the medium.
Yes.
So it's very
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Even to like recognize the way you
Yeah.
say that it's not me, it's them. It's just actually very beautiful to kind of hear. Uh,
Yeah.
so,
There
thank you for
should there
that.
should not be any ego coming in here, because at times there are so many things that would come across, and the person would say, okay, I told this, but there's never I. It's just the masters giving you the
Mm,
information,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
should give them that due recognition.
Yes, absolutely. And what you've chosen is a very hard path. And all the guests
Yeah.
who do come on the podcast are some way or the other are healers. In some way they're working with energy. And I tell
Hmm.
them that the path they've chosen is difficult because sometimes you don't know what's happening around you, what kind of energies are working with you. So it's so important to stay in touch, grounded, especially. I think you would
Yeah,
agree. So,
absolutely.
yeah. So, what are some of the grounding practices that you actually do to make sure that you're aligned to your purpose, aligned to your higher self?
Mhm. Yeah. So, especially before my any of the readings or any healings that I have to do, I just meditate for 5 minutes on Lord Metatron, because he's the one who gives you a lot of clarity and shooshes your mind, because you don't want many thoughts to come. So that is one thing that I do every time. And for my grounding, I so there's one thing that I don't miss is my saltwater baths, and keep doing cord cutting every time whenever you do readings or healings, anything, because even before you go to sleep, it's important to do cord cutting, because you don't want any etherical cords connecting to anyone whose energies you are getting.
Mm,
So that is something that I never miss.
mm,
Apart from that, small things you can do is, just go spend time in the nature, just walk on the grass barefoot, keep burning the camphor in the house just to clear out the energies, and keep doing sages. Or in the Indian households, we do dhoop. So even that also helps a lot in
yeah.
clearing out the energies, because and now being in this path, I sense energies.
Mm,
So I would know that, what is it that is taking too much of
mm,
part from me. So then I'll immediately do those groundings.
yeah.
So you become very aware actually. You become aware of from where the energies are coming, what is it that is taking a lot from you. You
Yeah.
get aware, and then you get answers also.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like people go like, "Oh my God, you can do this. It's glorified and everything," but they don't know what exactly the amount of energy and effort you need to put in to make sure that you are grounded
Absolutely.
and you're in the safe place so you can
Absolutely.
help people. So it's a big challenge. So you're a big task at
Yeah.
hand that you've been given, actually.
That
Right.
is there, and then Akasha is so amazing. One time, what happened was I had this client, and that client was into, like, he was surrounded from so many dark energies. He
Mm.
didn't name anything, and I don't even want to call out any dark energies, but I was also sensing before I started his reading. I had not even opened his records, but the masters said that, please don't do the reading. So they also protect. They also protects you, and you get those answers wherein, so it's safe also, because you know that you're protected every time and you get those answers. So
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I guess this is what we want to like hear, and people to kind of get aware of what exactly is happening. You can read a lot
Mhm.
of things online, but when it's coming from a real person with real experience, I feel
Yeah,
like it has a different impact. So
yeah.
thank you for sharing that, Shelby. um, the other question I have is, apart from doing Akashic reading, you
Mm.
also are into different healing modalities. So give us a little
Yes,
glimpse on what you do in that space as well.
sure. So I practice magnified healing and I practice light healing frequencies. So both these frequencies, they come from higher cosmic power. Magnified healing is the healing energies that you receive from Mother Kuan Yin. So Mother Kuan Yin is one of the Chinese goddess. She's being prayed a lot. Like there are huge temples of Mother Kuan Yin in Singapore and China and all other SAARC countries.
Right,
Uh, she is one of the member of the karmic board of Akasha. So there's like a panel, there's a board, there's a karmic board also. When
right.
you do Akashic reading, you'll know. So when you do magnified healing is her direct energies because her purpose is also to heal people. She wants to just stop that suffering. And it's very beautiful when you run those energies and how beautifully that heals almost every situation, whether they are any diseases or
Mm,
any situation in your life. Magnified healing works beautifully and it has so much of power that even if you do even 1 or 2 sessions of the healing, it eliminates the root cause. So
mm,
the healings that I do, they work on the root cause
right.
and very
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
So, and not many people take up magnified healing because again, you connect to the modality. So with me also, I just didn't know when and how I connected, but it was like she was pulling me that, now this is what you have to learn.
Mm,
And I learned it from my Guru Vidya Kavalji. And even the light healing frequencies, I do. She is the founder of light healing frequency because she was the one who received those frequencies from these star seeds. So it's very beautiful. Again, it's a huge topic on its own. But
part two.
when you do, yes, part two. But those are the healings, the frequencies that you directly receive from the star seeds, and you heal. That also the healing happens at a very lightning speed,
Mm,
and I mean I don't have words to describe that.
can
So,
imagine. So with
but
these
it's
healings, Shelby, are they performed? Can they be performed remotely, or do you need to see?
yes.
Okay.
No, they can be performed remotely from wherever you are, and it works. So when I'm doing the healing, the sender will also know that they are receiving some energies. And yeah, I mean, in just 2, 3 sessions, they see the difference. They
Beautiful.
connect. They
Yeah.
connect actually.
Yeah. It amazes me is how many healing modalities exist out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am
And,
kind of learning new healing modalities myself. I'm like just curious,
hmm,
I've been curious about these things. So, thank you for shedding some light on that. That was quite interesting.
yeah.
All right. And I think one last thing that I want to ask you is that with the Akashic, when you do offer your Akashic guidance and understanding of
Hmm,
the people, and of course, there need to be some level of intuition that you need to have in order to even help and receive those messages and sense the
hmm,
energies. So if
hmm,
someone does want to get into the path of Akashic records, I mean, of course,
hmm,
they need to have a calling for it, right? Yeah, otherwise it's not going to happen. It needs to be written in their destiny, in their record to kind of be an Akashic record reader. But for someone who might be maybe interested, where can they
hmm.
begin?
Sorry, where can
Where,
they learn
where,
it?
yeah, where can they begin? Yeah, where can they start?
Oh, so so there are many readers who are running their courses. So you can learn Akashic Record if you feel aligned to it. As you said, I do run my courses also. In fact, I have my first batch of Akashic starting from today after this, and I'm excited about it. So, yeah. But as I told you, it's very important that if you want to learn Akashic, you don't go for courses that are simply there on YouTube, or there's zero investment. It's
Mm,
always an energy exchange, and you only learn it from those whom you feel connected to.
yeah.
So that is my lesson, and I got to know from many other people who were seeking to learn that, I took up that course on Coursera, and I was like, why? This is something that you need. I need a guru for this,
Yeah.
because you feel that connect.
Mm,
Learn
yep.
only from the people whom you feel connected to. That
Yeah.
is what message I want to give.
Yeah. I
But
think
you can
that's
learn, yeah, you can learn Akasha even if you don't want to uh, do it professionally. You learn it for yourself so that you can channel it for your own growth.
mm, yes.
And Akasha is there. See, it is not that, it is only limited. Every soul has the right to tap their own Akashic records.
Mm,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah. I guess that's just an interesting point that you kind of put in there. Learn it so that you can, kind of help yourself see where you're
Yes,
stuck.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I guess I wouldn't have kind of looked at it in that way. So
Mm.
that was a good point that you mentioned. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Where does time fly when you're just having an amazing conversation,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. And I feel I have so many more things to tell you, but yeah, maybe
Look, if there is
next.
something on your mind at the moment, go for it.
No, no. If you want to ask any
Mm,
specific questions, I'm all up for that.
I want to ask you so many questions, Shelby, but I think just time constraint, we definitely should get together again, have a conversation
Sure.
over a cup of chai, and have a part
Definitely.
two. There's so many things I want to ask you still, right? And uh, what I was thinking as we are kind of talking about is with the intuition. I always kind of bring this up in every kind of almost every episode, I think, with intuition. So, what can one do to kind of help sharpen the intuition? How can someone connect with the higher self more? So, if you
Mm,
can just drop some tips for our
sure.
listeners today, before we head, yeah.
What I do normally is just sit in isolation and close your mind, and just focus all of your attention on your heart center.
Mm,
So, if you have your Ishtadev or whoever God you believe in, you can just imagine that they are there in your heart. You bow down to them, and then you kind of sit. And if you have any messages, even if you don't have any messages, you just sit focusing all your attention to your heart center, and your higher self will start guiding you.
that's lovely. Thank you for
This
that.
is what I do normally, and it has helped me.
Great, amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Shelby. And before we kind of wrap, if you have the last, maybe a quote or a message for our listeners today, if there's something that you want to give out, because my only hope and pray is that this podcast episodes that we do reach many, many, many people, only so we
Yeah.
can spread this awareness, spread this love. I always
Mm.
kind of vocal about spreading the love, so I
Mhm.
hope it happens. So if you have any message for anyone
Sure.
watching this today, want to give a
Sure.
message, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing, that don't limit yourself. Uh, there are many other things that are happening in the world that you don't know, and it doesn't need proof to show that various things exist.
Mm,
Uh, have faith, and try and experience. That is what I will say. Because I also see that many people just close up their mind and they always seek for proof and evidence, but then it goes way beyond that. And
mm,
as even someone had said that, you do have a mind, okay, but do you see your mind as an organ? No, right?
yeah,
It's there.
It's there.
So the energies are also there, the modalities are also there, the guidance is also there.
Hmm.
So have faith and seek.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
it. Just because you cannot see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yes, love it. Thank you so much, Shelby.
Thank you
And
so much.
you're such an amazing person, amazing human. The first time we spoke, I connected with you so deeply. Like I felt like I was talking to a friend. So thank you so much for being you. I really, really, really appreciate you and the kind of work you do. So all the
Thank you.
best. Wish you all the best. I hope that somewhere, maybe in this life, we can meet in person and have a cup of
Yeah.
chai in person and not
Yes.
virtually.
Yes.
Great.
But I would also want to thank you, Serene. I mean, it has been again very lovely, and I guess we connected back when it was Navratri,
Yes.
and the energies connected us. So it was very beautiful, and I was looking forward to this. And this is the first podcast of mine also, and it's very special. So I also hope and pray and send you a lot of blessings and healings that, sipping on stories reaches a lot of heights, and it just grows, multiplies.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much with that.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Shelby. Thank you so much.
Thank
Jai
you.
Bajrangbali.
Jai Bajrang Bali.